So this first question, Sam, is from James C. And he says, if you had to get a listing this week by Friday, what would you do?
Oh, great question. I think if I had to get a listing by this week, Friday, there's probably three things that I would attack full force. Number one is going after expireds, and number two is for sale by owners. Now, look, I know whoever hears this right now is going to say, but Sam, there's not a lot of expireds, there's not a lot of buy owners. I know, I get it. But what's important here is there is some. And those people have already indicated their intent to sell their home. And when you have your dialogue down, you show up with authority and a smile, your odds of talking to someone that's actually interested in selling they're at 100%. We know these people want to sell. Now we just have to help them feel comfortable and confident that you are the person for the job. And that goes into, a lot more dialogue around knowing your scripts and understanding how to present your value to a client. I feel very confident that, I look at it like if my life depended on it, could I get an expired or a for sale by owner to list with me this week? And the answer is 100% yes. Like those people, like I just said, have the highest level of intent. We know they want to sell. So all we have to do is get in between the process where they're at and where they want to go. So I feel very confident that that would make a big impact. Additionally, working around just listed, just solds, and doing, circle prospecting. I personally would suggest showing up at the door, but statistics show that when a property sells, generally speaking, a couple more are going to hit the market in that community, in that neighborhood. So let's pretend that there is no expires and there is no buy owners. When a property sells, we know that there's a couple more coming around the corner. So I would leverage that momentum. I would ride that wave and go and knock around the just sold activity inside of the market that we're working in. And then last, and this is to me a staple, Oliver, that should be in every agent's business, the most non-negotiable piece of a successful real estate pipeline is working your database, your past clients, your center of influence, your friends and family. These are the people that actually want to talk to you. Where the expired and the buy owner and the leads you're getting off of the platforms and everybody else, as unfortunate as it is, you are just an unfortunate piece of the equation to sell or buy a home as an agent. But your past clients, your center of influence, your friends and family, these people actually want to talk to you, right? So I feel very confident that working our database properly will keep us in a position to have a steady flow of deals. Now, if I haven't worked them in forever, I haven't reached out in forever, I had to get a listing this week, I think what a great way to reignite my database, my relationship, my dialogue and communication, and call everybody and do the obligatory, how's life, how's wife, how's this and that, and then ask them who they know that's thinking about selling. And you might even make it fun and say, hey, look, I made a goal for myself that I'm going to get an extra listing this week. So those are the things that come to mind for me first.
Yeah, that I love that. And I got a couple thoughts to add there. So one, I love expireds and FSBOs mainly because the intent is there. They've already raised their hand. You know that they're looking to buy. You know that they're looking to sell. And another way to do it is, since the expireds are a little bit lower than they normally are, is going back maybe 180 days, 90 days, and finding the old expireds that nobody's calling anymore. They've had a chance to kind of cool off, reassess. You call them now, you can slide right in there, not a lot of competition. So, great way to earn more listings. Same thing with for sale by owners. I think that the statistic is
To
crazy.
submit
It's like
questions in the
85%
future,
of
just
them
shoot
end
either
up
one of us a
listing with a
DM.
realtor
The
after
links will
like
be
7
in the
weeks.
description below
So
of where
just
this is
going to
posted.
them and showing face and not doing the scammy like, hey, I have an offer, I'd like to see your house, but maybe just coming and presenting your value to them and just getting a level of rapport so that when they are ready to list, you're that first call that they make. And then on the database note, I think that's huge as well. I think, to your point, that's how you build up the flow over time. Even if you have a small database with only like 100 people in it, you know that 10% of that database is going to move every year. So there's 10 transactions right there, but you also know that 100% of your database knows somebody that's going to move in the next year. So just getting in front of them and staying vocal. And I love the idea of gamifying it. Like you said, like if you were to call everyone this week and just say, hey, I need to get a listing by the end of this week. I mean, I bet my boss, whatever the reason is, I think that those people would be willing to help you out. And to your point, they know, like, and trust you. So great way to go about it.
Yeah, or just, take the approach like, hey, like my kids are starving and I need to be able to feed them. So like if you care about my kids staying alive, then you should probably give me a referral.
Also one way to go.
Just joking. But there's one other thing that I think is worth touching on here. For the people that, as soon as we said expireds and buy owners, tuned out, let me invite you to consider one other opportunity. So the reason we like expireds and buy owners is because the data, right? That's a good source of data. We know that the intent for those people is high, as we just said. Now, something that I've seen a lot of successful investors and agents do is stack data, meaning what are key public points that generally lead to someone wanting to list their home. So we know the big life events, right? Like divorce, bankruptcy, et cetera, et cetera. So that's another category of people we can go after. But what I want to share with you is the idea of stacking multiple forms of data to get a list that matches or has all of these data points. And the data points that I've seen work really well is non-owner occupied properties, data point 1, where the owner lives in a different city or state, the property is vacant, it has equity, and there's some sort of financial distress. So we're taking those 5 points, and if you think about a person that owns that property, they have either an investment property by choice or by accident that is in another area. It's vacant. They have equity, but it's not paid off. So there's burden of the loans and keeping that thing afloat. So it's vacant. They're losing money on it every month. There's some sort of financial distress. For them, they are in that position of like, man, what do I do? And when you show up the right way, it almost feels like a sign to them, right? So be the sign. Be the person that helps them fix the challenge that they're facing. So that sort of data stack, I think, is something that we should be incorporating to our business in general. But to the question, if I had to get a listing by the end of the week, where would I go? I would go to data stacks like that. Like those people need to make a decision. And selling their home is generally going to be the best decision they can make with the situation that they're in.
Yeah, love that. Couldn't agree more. And to get that type of data, you guys can reach out to your title rep. Shout out Ryan Lipsy. He's really good at getting data and things like that when people want to do marketing campaigns. So if you guys are liking this, give us some love, give us a like, leave us a comment. To submit questions in the future, just shoot either one of us a DM. The links will be in the description below of where this is posted.